Whether it's Cypher, Lando Calrissian, or Fredo, an iconic betrayal can really make a story and elevate it to the next level. But how can you utilize iconic betrayals and templates of those betrayals for your D&D game to make your villains or their allies that much more compelling? Let's talk about that. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Geek Pantheon. I am Eric, and today we're talking betrayals. And I've tried to do betrayals in campaigns of mine in the past with mixed results. Oftentimes I get really excited about a big reveal and I have trouble doing the slow burn. And then also I'll have like a big reveal and the players will respond in a way that I never accounted for. And I'm stunned by the response, either extremely positive or extremely negative. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do now. I thought you all were going to be really intrigued by this person revealing who they actually are. And instead you feel betrayed. And I thought that you were going to hate this person for revealing who they actually are. And you're very compelled. So I don't know. But I'm going to break down some ideas that I had for building up a betrayal and ultimately what the motivation is, because I feel like that is the thing that makes or breaks a compelling betrayal, is why, and how relatable that why can potentially be. People watch The Matrix and Cypher's betrayal is horrible, but somewhat understandable. There is a certain type of person in all of us, I feel like, that would want to go back into the Matrix, to forget about this never-ending war and go back into the fantasy. So you can see where he's coming from, even if you don't agree with his betrayal. So the first one we're going to talk about is against their will. So this is a type of betrayal that is kind of a double bluff. So you have an ally of the party that's been working alongside them, helping them, and then at a pivotal moment, probably in Act 2 of your campaign, it's revealed that they are working for the big bad or the villainous organization or whatever, and they have been spying on the party this whole time. And there can be a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of shock, a lot of confusion. And then in Act 3, or the transition from Act 2 to Act 3, like the end of Act 2, you can have it revealed that the only reason this ally of theirs betrayed them was because they were being coerced into it. The villain has their family held hostage or has information about their family that they're dangling at the end of a stick. Like, you have to do stuff for me in order for me to give you this information. And so it can be this really interesting second reveal of, oh no, like, and now we have this whole other quest to maybe try and get our former ally out from underneath the thumb of the villain so that they can be brought back into the fold. Or the party can still completely write off this ally and say they should have come to us. They should have told us what was going on. We could have helped, but instead they betrayed us. Then they betrayed all these people and put the world in even greater danger. That's kind of the range that you can look to for how your party is going to react. And you're never going to know that until the reveal actually happens. But I think that especially if you have them be a really intertwined member of the party and clearly show that they care about the party, they care about the mission, they hate the villain, the twist itself is going to be that much more shocking and potentially nonsensical. You might have some players going, this doesn't make any sense. They repeatedly talked about how much they didn't like the organization. And I did insight checks and I rolled like a 25 and they were being truthful. They really don't like the organization. So there's something going on. And then once the additional reveal happens, then the puzzle pieces can start falling into place. The next one I want to talk about, I kind of labeled honesty is the best policy. Some of my favorite characters in especially movies or literature or any story that features a group of people working together, I really like the roguish mercenary that is very upfront with everybody of, listen, this is a paying gig. I work for the highest bidder. I'm not a trustworthy person. You should not trust me. And then as the story goes on, they fight alongside the heroes. They are there for them. They have their back. They present themselves as very trustworthy. And then they betray the party, oftentimes for money. And all they can do is shrug and say, I told you, don't trust me. Don't rely on me. If you're not paying me, I don't care. And that can be just it's a great betrayal / reveal in the completely opposite way as the against their will archetype, because the party should have known better. And if you play it right, they're going to kick themselves like they told us over and over again to not trust them. But their actions made it seem like they were really trustworthy. But they kept saying, don't trust me. And that can be really compelling and interesting. And down the road, once again, you can flip it again. And if the party wants to try and weaken the villain's stable of lieutenants and allies and stuff, and they got cash to burn, they could always go offer the mercenary that betrayed them more money. Just approach him and say, how much are you getting paid? Okay, we can beat that. It's like, great. And I don't know, like there's two different types of character. There's one that is pure mercenary, and like even if they have a deal going on with the player characters or with the villain, as soon as they are offered a better deal, they're going to drop it and go. And those are less, it's harder to empathize with those characters because they truly are mercenaries. They don't honor their word. They don't honor anything except for money. And that can be fine. That can be interesting. But the one that I like more is the one that still has their code. And so, you know, if the party hires them, hey, we need a guide to get us across the continent. We're trying to get to this town. It's like, okay, yeah, I can get you there. And repeatedly says like, no, like we're not buddies. Like you hired me to do a job. And as soon as that job is through, we're done. And you can slowly like reveal more about their backstory and like make them very sympathetic and likable and kind. But they repeatedly tell the party like they're keeping them at an arm's length. Like, listen, no, don't, that we're not there. Like, don't trust me. Like you're paying me. And then that can make that reveal all the more satisfying when they get there and their guide is just like, okay, see ya. It's been fun. And the party will be like, what? It's like, we're done. Or the villain has like put a down payment. It's like, okay, so you're on a job right now. Okay, I want to be your next client. As soon as they get to this place, come talk to me. And so then it can be an immediate switch. They can immediately flip. And that can be a very fun and engaging betrayal. And I put that in air quotes because it's not really a betrayal. They were honest the whole time. Don't trust me. It's not my fault that you didn't listen to me. So I really like that style of betrayal. And probably the one that is going to be the most reprehensible to your players. And just, you know, they'll completely write this character off the second this betrayal happens, is the ally that makes a deal with the villain for the greater good. You know, there's an apocalyptic level threat that's going to like wipe out all of the peoples of the world. And this person makes a deal for their nation or their people or something along those lines. It's like, listen, like, we can't beat them. Like we can't, you see what we're up against. I have to do what I can to protect my people or to protect people. I mean, it can be as small and intimate, like they want to save their family, or as broad as we can work with them. We don't have to fight against them. Sure, we might have to give up our sense of autonomy, our free will, any basic freedoms or rights we might have, but we'll be alive. And isn't that, like, at the end of the day, what we're all fighting for is the survival of everyone? Why would you fight against the survival of everyone? And your party's going to hate that character. They're going to hate him so hardcore. They're not going to listen to them at all, which is the intended effect. Like this type of traitor, it's meant to be portrayed as very cowardly. Like you're supposed to, when you're the big epic hero, you're supposed to fight till your last breath to protect people's freedoms and, you know, protect the way of life as opposed to the life itself. And so that can be a really interesting back and forth between this traitorous ally and the party. I have one more. It's a bonus one. And I really like this one. Have the party members be the traitors. And what I mean by that is if in your campaign, you can have an adventure or a series of adventures or an entire act of your campaign where the party has to go undercover. They have to try and infiltrate the villain's organization. And this can work for high fantasy, urban campaigns, cyberpunk, like future, like this story type knows no bounds when it comes to setting. And you have the party be undercover. Like they have to infiltrate this organization. They have to find out information. They have to potentially, take out some high-ranking people within the organization. And then eventually they have to get out. And so you set all that up. But then there's one of the like mid-level underlings that's super nice, super likable, kind. And what'll really cement things is if other people within the organization suspect the player characters of being undercover and this person goes to bat for them. And like Steph is like, no. Like these are good people. They're here for the right reasons. They work hard. They bust their butts every day, which is more than I can say for you. That moment ideally is going to kill the players inside because they know eventually they're going to have to reveal that they're not this person's friend. They're not hardworking members of the organization. They are nothing that this person thinks that they are. And it's going to be heartbreaking. And I would absolutely like have this person be dedicated to the organization. Have them be a part of the family. Like this is so iconic when it comes to like mob movies, like the undercover cop going into the mob. Donnie Brasco is a phenomenal movie for this type of betrayal. And you have somebody that is like cemented. It's not like they're wishy-washy and the party could compel them to leave. No, this person is there. And so there's like all the best thing the party could try to do is before they have to reveal and like try to arrest people or betray the organization that they've like been spying on, is try to corner this person, be like, okay, listen, we have to tell you something and we're so sorry. And yeah, have that person be heartbroken, have that person be devastated, and have that feeling of betrayal that they were lied to and manipulated by these people that they considered friends and maybe even family. And that can be just such a satisfying story beat. And then as the campaign progresses, you could do whatever you want with that character. If like way down the road you want them to come be an ally of the party, that's fine. Or it's an excellent villain origin story. It's an excellent moment for a kind, albeit slightly naive NPC to become hardened, to become cynical, and to realize that their worldview is garbage. Like these people that they thought were family, were friends, lied to them, used them for their own ends. And I guess that is the way the world is. It's what everybody around me keeps telling me. But I thought I had friends that proved that wrong, but I guess I was wrong. And they become a significant villain in your story because the players betrayed them as opposed to the other way around. Did you all enjoy this video? Let me know. Let me know some interesting and satisfying betrayals that you've experienced in fiction. Try to keep it older so we can avoid like major spoilers down in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/thegeekpantheon. If you want to support the channel financially that way, you can, which I would greatly appreciate. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.